our bi-weekly call. This week I'll be moderating it as Ash is on a flight. And for today's agenda, I'll get started on 0.14.1. I wasn't here during the last call, so I'm not sure how much everyone's been updated, but I just published the pre-release notes. So when you get a chance, please go over them. I'd love to get your feedback. Rodrigo, I saw that you already posted something. I'll get back to later on it. The big thing in 0.14.1 is the implementation of Blake usage as a hash function from Poseidon. And then around that, we have a new RPC version 0.10.0 that we'll be introducing as well. The next release candidate, number 1, was also published in the past hour. So if anyone has notes, if anyone has anything else that they'd like to introduce, it's a great opportunity because we're jumping from 9 to 10. So please let me know in the coming days. And just general feedback is more than welcome. Integration we'll be going to on October 28th. And then the timeline for testnet and mainnet, you can see in the pre-release notes. I just want to pull it up here on my end to make sure that I'm not giving false information on it. But testnet is ETA at the 11th of November and mainnet by 25th of November. So that gives us about a month out from today to reach mainnet. Those are the main things in regards to 0.14.1 in terms of the logistics of it, and so forth. I'd like to get hear from some of the teams here on readiness for 0.14.1, Pathfinder. Where's Chris? Christian. Does someone from Pathfinder want to share about that?
Sorry, my video just froze. Yeah, we're working on it. So essentially, we're just starting working on the chasm change. And is there anything else, Václav, that we should mention here?
We started on 0.10, have a 0.10 API, which is the same as 0.9, and going through the changes now. They are all very small, except of course the new hash, which is the version data, and as Chris said, we are working on that.
All right, and you guys had a recent release. I was out of office for this, but with a deploy account simulation fix. Any words that you guys want to share on that?
Yeah, essentially it was a bug fix release. We added 3 fixes actually. So one was for Starknet estimate fee. The other one was for syncing. We decreased the sort of like timeout when there's an error an error on the sequencer that is sort of non-standard. And we also did a fix on simulate transactions. When the skip free charge flag is not set, it sometimes failed for deploy account. I can link the issues and the PRs because it would take a few minutes to actually explain everything in detail.
I think the fixes are in the release notes, so they should be visible.
Yeah, of course. But if you want more details, you have to jump into the code.
Perfect. Thank you. Juno, Rodrigo, I see you're here. How are you guys in terms of 0.14.1 readiness or preparation? I know that the release notes just got out now, so I'm not expecting anything beyond taking that into consideration.
Yeah, on our side, so we already implemented Blake Hash, so we have to implement it because we already go. And then the next steps are, which are not done, but I don't think they will be particularly painful, are the RPC, updating the RPC, which should be easy. The thing we are worried about is actually more in syncing. And as you know, we posted a question about what happens with the try, what happens with the class hash tries when there is a new class hash. What happens if I use class hash in a block which is previous to 0.14.1, and what happens if I get the same class hash in a block that's 0.14.1? Now, how do we have to keep track of all those deprecated things? So I think those are the things we are mostly worried about, because if there will be like we have to be more careful around it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll get back to you guys on that. It's a good question. I mean, posted it right before, so I didn't have time to get the perfect answer on it. So I'm holding back from giving you my thoughts for now. And then you guys had some recent bug fixes and stability improvements.
We have some simple stability improvements regarding the issues that I think we had the same issues as Pathfinder, the same issues that we still have not made a release. We're aiming to make a release next week with a bunch of things. Mainly, we already had WebSocket the prelatest UX improvement integrated as part of the normal HTTP request, but now we are adding it to also subscription-based requests, so you can also have all that information, which will be part of the next release, and then including these bug fixes and other smaller things which are Juno specific, smaller improvements overall in the code.
Awesome. Is there anything else from your end that you'd like to share?
No, not so far.
All right. Karna?
Yeah, so on the Madara side, we are currently bumping Madara to 14.0, so we have not yet evaluated the work towards 14.1. So yeah, like we are getting there, and hopefully we'll have something soon.
And then one of the things on the agenda was also the SNOS integration status.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. Also, so we had some network stability hiccups over the past 2 weeks, from my understanding. Again, I was off the radar. I assume that you guys didn't receive too much of an update on that, unless there's something that I don't know that reached you guys. But from just to give a quick summary, about a week and a half ago, there was a miscalculation of a transaction runtime, which caused proposing blocks to fail for about 5 minutes. Essentially, what happened was the first transaction that was entering the block, the length of it was miscalculated, meaning that it took more time for it to run than we actually thought it should take. So each proposer tried to put it into its block, and each time the proposer failed to include that transaction because the block time would time out before the transaction would complete its running. The way that we mitigated it was by increasing block time to a max of 9 seconds for now, and this allowed us to to understand that if a miscalculation happens, we're taking enough by increasing 50% max block time, we're pretty much covered in terms of this type of situation. The reason why it only lasted for 5 minutes was because at a certain point, these transactions, they leave the mempool if they're not included into a block. So essentially, we had this issue until the transaction was aborted from the mempool. And so that was the hiccup about a week and a half ago, from my understanding. And about 2 weeks ago, I think this must have been right after the biweekly call. The pre-confirmed was having too many queries, or not too many, but was creating an overload on the database. And due to this, the committer, which also uses the database, was not working fast enough. And this created a backlog that also stalled the network. It took some time to realize that this was what was causing the issue with the committer. And the way we mitigated it was by including better cache functionality for pre-confirmations so that it would use less, there would be less overhead on the database when users choose to query at scale pre-confirmations. So those are the two updates in terms of performance and network stability. As far as my understanding, since then we've knock on wood, stable, and that's the update on that. Consensus implementation updates, Jasmina.
Yeah. The last time we talked about, we were discussing whether a new release of Malachite is coming out. I have discussed this with the folks now at Circle, because we have pushed like a small bug fix on the wall into their repo as well. They are planning to put out a new release in the next coming weeks. So it could be maybe 2 weeks or so if nothing changes. And then we were at some point debating that if this is going to not happen very soon, we might release from our own crate so that people are up to date. But given that this bug is not really critical and that the forks at this point are pretty much a match, like Informal's fork and the Soka fork are really matching, I think it makes sense to just wait till they do an official release. And then if something comes up in the meantime where we find a bug that is really important for you guys to be released immediately, then we can handle it and I'll update you guys. But for the moment, I think there's going to be a 0.60 release in the coming weeks. And that's pretty much it. We have also fixed some things, like they have also pushed some things that were cosmetic. I don't think there's too many breaking changes for folks when the upgrade comes around. But anyways, if anything changes between this and the next call and then we decide to release sooner, I will let you know. But that's sort of solely the update. Things have been stable and there's not really any major threads of work with regards to consensus changes at this point.
Amazing. Thank you for the update. And then the last note on today's call is just general communication and coordination improvements. Obviously, we're always open for feedback on this front in our industry. It's very important to have clear communication, coordination. Release notes are part of it. Pre-release notes are part of it. Yeah, RPC, pre-releases, all that stuff. If there's need for documentation or better documentation, all these things are good to be shared as feedback so that we can make the required improvements wherever they may be. And on that note, is there anything else anyone here would like to share? Any other business? All right, so I think that's it for this week. Shorter call than usual, but I guess that's also a good thing. It means that we're well coordinated. The next call is scheduled for Thursday, November 6th at 11 a.m. UTC. All parties, all interested parties are encouraged to join. And we'll see you guys then. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.